Welcome to the Room of Lives. I'm your host, Neil. Around 1 year ago, right after I arrived in Brazil to start my postdoctoral research on psychedelics, I had to go to the federal police office for some immigration paperwork. As I was waiting in that room, a man came and sat next to me. After some time, I got called about my papers, and the lady looking them over asked me what I do. I explained briefly that I'm here to do research on clinical trials with psychedelics like ayahuasca and DMT. She took my papers and asked me to wait again, so I returned to my seat. The man who was sitting next to me now fidgeted for a bit, then asked me if he could speak to me. He said he overheard that I'm here to do research on DMT and that years ago he had had an experience with crystallized DMT that totally overturned his life. We spoke for a little bit in hushed voices in this federal police office, then exchanged contacts. I came out of the federal police building thinking, what a strange place and situation for us to meet each other like this. Months later, Cristiano arrived in my apartment to share his DMT experience on my podcast. He begins by sharing his early explorations of psychedelics and the dramatic turning point when he smoked pure crystallized DMT. He describes his experience of leaving his body to spend years in just 15 minutes, encountering a space entity that merged his consciousness with universal oneness. We trace his journey of navigating the isolating aftermath of this incident in his life, his involvement with strange alternative groups in Brazil, and his continued development of his psychic and paranormal abilities. Finally, we discuss how his profound DMT realizations have changed his perspective on religion, God, and fatherhood, why he forgave his friends who abandoned him, and how these experiences continue to grant him effortless visions as an architect. So, can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances surrounding, uh, when you took this DMT? When was this, and what was the situation?
Well, I was very interested in knowing about spirituality in a universal sight, let's say, view, let's call it. I was interested in knowing more about the Indian culture, the Oriental culture, because I come from a Christian source, let's say.
Yeah.
And I started to think about a lot of these things because I had some weird things going on in my life, and I was like, always into philosophy and thinking about other cultures and how people live and think, and then suddenly I thought, well, this just makes no sense. That there's just hell and heaven, and what about this Chinese guy that never heard about Christianity? He's just is he going straight to hell, or I mean, how does this work, you know? And then I started learning a bit more about other cultures and about other religions. And especially when I was in the Netherlands, I had first psychedelic experiences, not with DMT, but with other substances like magic mushrooms. And it was a total change, start to change in my life. I was in another country, and then suddenly I have this access to other, I'm gonna call it dimensions. Okay, and then they felt like more real than reality itself, and I had like two or three really strong experiences, not in a recreative way, but like I also had recreative things, but mostly I would just stay home by myself, eyes closed, and I had all kind of amazing things that's really hard to put in words. And when I came back to Brazil, I started researching about ayahuasca and these kind of things that contain DMT. And talking to some friends, well, I actually I tried in ayahuasca one time in an indigenous tribe that's here nearby, like guided by some shamans and everything. And in the middle of the process, they asked me, "So, brother, do you feel the force? Do you feel?" And I said, "Well, don't take me wrong, but no, I'm not feeling anything. I mean, compared to the magic mushrooms experience, because I was trying always have a comparison, right?
Yeah. And you took the same amount that they.
Yeah, the same amount that they did. So I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know why people think this is so awesome, because to me,
Yeah.
I really did not happen anything.
Yeah.
But I continued to study about it, and saw a lot of things about DMT itself, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should try again with another tribe or with another thing. And then I had this friend here that he synthesized DMT, like pure crystallized DMT.
Yeah.
And he said, well, this is a totally different thing from ayahuasca. And if you want to try it out.
And this was in Natal or?
Yes.
Oh, in Natal.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, this is coming to me like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to
How
try it
many
out.
years ago was this?
It was almost like 10 years ago,
10 years
sort of
ago.
10 years ago.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 27.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was, I was really shocked by that experience, right? I mean, it was totally different from
Yeah.
any let's say psychedelic, because
And you did this by yourself? Like
no, I had him help me,
yeah.
because he said, look, you have to get at least 3 hits.
Yeah.
Because if you don't manage to do 3 hits,
Yeah.
you'll not feel what you need to feel. You know,
Yeah.
the kind of the story behind it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I used to smoke marijuana and cannabis, right? And I was like, what? You're gonna get 3 hits on something and you're just totally in another universe?
Yeah.
This was really strange to me. I said, well, of course I'm gonna manage 3 hits. I mean, why is this? But yeah, he like had like this pipe, how can I call it, like a glass pipe,
Yeah.
and he helped me like to
Yeah.
light it. And then he said, do the first hit, and already on the first hit, I was like, wow, my mind was expanding, and I was like going from 0 to 100 in millimeters a second, like
Yeah.
you know, just whoa, what's this? Totally
Yeah.
different from other psychedelics, like really, really completely different from the others. Actually, in the end of the thing, I really thought that maybe DMD isn't a psychedelic, because psychedelics, they bring totally different feelings and state of mind and thoughts than what DMT did. I mean, it's like it's in another category. I really think like maybe it shouldn't be considered a psychedelic, because and he helped me on the second hit. On the second hit, I already started hearing like,
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? And I was like, no, I don't want more, I don't want more. And he said, no, you have to give the third hit. And like, okay, and I gave the third hit. When I have the third hit, I just like felt this explosion, like in my body, in my head, and I saw like rainbows of colors and all these things. And then I started to see like mandalas in my friend, like these perfect geometries in front of me, and I was really astonished by that. And then on that moment, I was like, aha, so this is where the artists take those ideas from. Because when you see this art, I mean, they had to be seen somewhere. So I was like, so this is where they got it from. And I mean, I really perfect mandalas, really complex fractals forming in my mind. And I was really like, look, I don't think that my mind would be able to make up or come up with such a beautiful art. I mean, it's like I was just experiencing another dimension, and that dimension, it is like that. So when you access that dimension, that perfect geometry and mathematics and fractals exist, and you have access to see them. Because I really don't think it was something created by my brain.
Yeah.
And I like it's impossible that I would be able to create such perfect and stuff like this. And then when I opened my eyes, I was in like a bay window, no, not a bay window, balcony, a balcony with a sea in front. And then I opened my eyes, and he said, "Yeah, are you okay?" I said, I just knocked my head saying yes, and then he left, and he left me there alone because that's what I asked him. Look, I want to have this experience. So we just left, and he went inside of the house, and he closed the door, and I was there on the balcony. And then suddenly I see like the walls starting to shake, and the ground and the ceiling starting to shake. Then the walls started making like coming to the center, closing in like this, closing in, and this thing closing and closing and closing. And then it would just go faster and faster and faster and faster. And then suddenly it just goes like in a immense speed of transforming this. And then suddenly I see myself outside of my body, like if I was in the corner of the balcony, like near the ceiling, and I was there looking at my body, and I was just sitting down, and I couldn't move my body. And that might you might think like that might have been a bad experience, like you could not move your body or whatever, but it was the most releasing experience I had in my life, to be outside of my current physical uh, limits, let's say. So when I was outside of my body, I saw myself sitting down, and when I looked, I because when you not look now, you are used to see a body, right? I mean, you see your hands, you see your legs, you see everything. And I looked and I saw my body, but in like a translucid state. So I could see through to my body. It was still there. So kind of like a spirit or a ghost. I don't know what the exact words to. And I saw myself as a spirit. And my thoughts were just way, way faster, like 10 times more fast that I could do like here and now with you. So my thoughts were really, 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 really fast. And then I started looking at the ambience, and I was noticing that the walls and the sinks, because I was in a building like in the 20th floor. And then I started looking at the stuff and around me, and I noticed that I could fly. And not only that, I could fly around, that I could see through the walls. And it started to come into like coming out like of a solid state into stuff like programming stuff, like literally like the Matrix. I mean, I saw the Matrix much before this experience, and I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, everything was just turning into codes, into numbers, into stuff, and I could see through. Like it's like everything was suddenly coding, computer coding, everything, and I could see through things. I could see people. I could see everything, and that got me really confused. Like what the hell is happening? And then uh, I came back to my body somehow in the flash of I was just going seeing these things, and whoop, I come back to my body, and I look at my hands, and I'm like, wow, what is this that happened? I was really so confused because on that moment I was sure that my thoughts were not produced by my brain, and that I've been taught in school, like, yeah, your brain makes your thoughts, blah, blah. And on that moment, I was sure it was not like that, because that was my first conclusion. Like, it's impossible that the brain makes the thoughts, because I was outside of my body and I was thinking 10 times faster. So maybe even the brain is some kind of a limiter.
Yeah, actually, do you know about this idea of the brain as a reducing valve?
No,
Heard about this idea?
I totally got this like
Yeah,
own conclusions. Like, it's impossible that it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
from my brain. I mean, I
yeah,
was like shocked about it.
yeah. So just a little interjection.
Sure.
There was one person who popularized this idea more. His name is Aldous Huxley, who was kind of like an intellectual person. He did a lot of psychedelics, and he was the one who first kind of made this idea more concrete. He said that there exists something called the universal field of consciousness, that he also called the mind at large. And he said that the brain is not really a generator of consciousness, it's kind of like a valve that uh, reduces the flow of this big mind into some kind of a narrow, limited form of individual consciousness. Um, and just to keep the normal functioning that is required for us to survive on this planet. Because if we were always with this big mind, it would be too overwhelming for us to live our life. But he said that when you take psychedelics, it kind of opens the valve and you connect with greater bandwidth with the big mind.
Yes.
So yeah, so this idea has been around for a little bit.
So that's when I was really like, wow, this thing is amazing. And then I closed my eyes again, and in a moment I was pushed out of my body again. Like, I have no idea how I did this. It just happened.
Yeah,
Not that I had some special techniques about.
yeah, yeah.
I was pushed out of my body again when I closed my eyes, and that was a different experience. Like, I saw myself uh, inside of a chamber, and the chamber, I saw it later on a painting.
Yeah.
I even show you about that guy. I don't know, Alex
Alex
Gray,
Gray. Alex Gray.
which has like faces,
Yeah.
like for all directions, and like these faces are pillars, and then you
Yeah.
have a like infinite thing. And I was in that place, and
Yeah.
I did not know the artist.
Yeah.
I only got to know the artist after my experience, when I
You
went to
hadn't,
research
yeah.
about it. Like,
You
what the
hadn't
hell
even
happened?
seen that painting before.
Never, never.
Wow.
And I was there, and I was like, what is this place?
If I remember correctly, in that painting, it's mostly yellow and red, those faces, and a lot of
Yes.
like fire, like
Fire things and galaxies inside of them, and I, like, and on that moment I felt like that was like the superhuman mind. I don't know how to call it, but like, wow, this is like where the human consciousness or mind comes from, or like somewhere where it's processed or something. And it felt really natural to be there, like, uh and then I tried to go near this thing, and when I entered, like, went really near, I entered one of these galaxies, and
yeah.
I was like feeling in a place with a lot of light and a lot of things, and like this aurora borealis
Yeah.
colors and this kind of things, this kind of visions. And when I looked down, I didn't see my body anymore.
Mm.
And suddenly something like, it's really hard to put in words, but suddenly I was just a ball of light.
Mm.
I mean, I had no arms, no anything. I was just a ball of light when I entered that space. And I had a vision of 360 degrees. Like, I could see in all directions, which is something really awkward when you're just
Yeah.
talking here, like how you what you could see behind. Yeah, I could see in every direction. and I was a ball of light. Just I felt like it. I were like emitting light. And then when I was in this place, I not that someone told me, also not that I thought about it. Like when we think we have like this voice inside our head, I just kind of felt that that was the place where souls are born. It's like when I entered there, I was like it's like this. Oh, finally I'm back here. I came from here, and this is the place where I'm gonna go after I die.
So this ball of light, where was it?
Was inside of one of those galaxies.
And but this was in kind of like outer space.
Yes, like outer space. I didn't see planets or anything.
It was just black.
Stars,
Just
black,
stars.
and with some colors, like moving waves of colors and stuff. And then I just felt it like, whoa! So this is where I came from, but not as a thought. Like I said, it's different. It's like I would think about it and get the answer. Think about it and get the answer. Different from like when we are here, that I'm speaking something and I'm listening and I have my voice in my head and you have your voice in your head and we think stuff to ourselves and talk to ourselves. In there, I did not have that thing at all. It was just like immediate light speed connection. There was no time to think, to put up words. I just had like a thought that, like when I had this thought, it meant like 10 books, not like a linear thinking, which was really strange. Like I felt like I was like super intelligent, or whatever I would think about, I would get the answer immediately. So I was thinking, how about different? Oh, I got it. Oh. It's like I didn't have even time to ask anything that I would already have the answer on my mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then suddenly I see one ball, a really huge ball of light coming in my direction, and that I'm gonna call it entity, because I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a spirit or whatever. I don't know. But this consciousness, or this entity, which also is also just a ball, a sphere ball of light, came near me. And when it came near me, I was like, I started to to connect with it. Like I started saying, "Hey, it's really amazing that I'm here. I'm really thankful for finally being in a state where I can realize what's like behind the scenes and everything." And then I started speaking a lot of things, and in some sense, I noticed that it tried to stop me, and then it told me three things. The first thing, just literally, I heard it not speaking somehow. It said, "You are nothing." And I was like totally involved, and like, what was happening? And I stopped. And I was like, what? What did this thing tell me? I am nothing. And then I stopped for a few moments, and I was like looking around and getting like a grip on myself. And then it's like, okay,
By the way, I don't know if it matters, but what language was this? Did it say you are nothing sort of in English or?
well, no, it's that sort of in Portuguese to me.
Yeah, to you it was in kind
Yeah,
of Portuguese.
sort of in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And but like I said, not really. These were actually the only linear words I got, because all the rest was not linear. I was just exploding in thoughts and coming back and forth, and it was really
That other knowledge was not sequential. It was like all at once.
yes. So these were the only things that were sequential.
Yeah.
You are nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then I said, okay, I thank you for those words. I'm gonna reflect on it. And I said, but still, I'm very enthusiastic that I'm here. And then I started going with my thought speed again, to the maximum. And then I'm gonna call she the entity. She said another thing. She said, um, everything around you happens without you. And I was like, what? I mean, I come here in peace. I already get the second slap.
Yeah.
And then I started to worry, like, okay, what is happening and how the hell am I going to go back to my body? That was the first moment, like, okay, maybe this entity is not a good entity. This was the first time
It
I
was
was like,
trying to kind of break down your ego or something like that.
yes. And since you touched about that thing, when I entered that space, that galaxy, I totally felt like dying.
Yeah.
I felt like
Yeah.
I even remember to have this voice in my head with me speaking to myself, saying something like this. Congratulations, Cristiano! You finally did it. You tried so many psychedelics, and now you managed to kill yourself. Well, that's really nice from you.
Like a sarcastic voice.
Yeah, like an ironic voice. A great thing that you managed to do. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, amazing. You managed to kill yourself.
Yeah.
And I was, from that moment on, it just went stranger and stranger. But I totally had that feeling that, yeah, I was dead. That's it. I died. I died on the experience. I'm on another dimension. I don't see my body anymore. I have superpowers. You know, I can see everything, think about everything, whatever I would think about, I'll get the answer. It was really amazing. And then I started to going back to that second phrase. I was starting to worry, like, how the hell am I going back to my body? And how the hell am I don't contact with this entity anymore? Because I was hoping for a warm welcoming.
Yeah.
And then I had this thing, which is not like, let's say, a bad trip when you have with mushrooms or with LSD. It's a completely different thing. It was not a bad trip. It was just happening.
Yeah.
Not good or bad. It was just happening.
Yeah.
And so kind of I was out of the duality, or in some senses, right? That we live here, like left, right, black, white. So I was like, this is not good, not bad. It's just happening. Okay. And then this entity started coming more near me. And when she went more and more and more near me, like she kind of got into the same space that I was.
Yeah.
And that moment, I felt like that, like I saw like this huge hand touching my third eye. That's touching. And while she was touching, uh, she said the third thing. And the third thing, he said, but you are part of everything. And when she said everything, she touched my third eye, and that word echoed like everything, everything, everything. And then I felt like I was inside of this wind,
Like a tornado?
yeah, like a
Like a
tornado,
vortex?
like a
Yeah.
vortex.
Yeah.
And then I felt completely connected with, I'd call God, or the universe, or everything that exists, because I totally do not know the correct words on it. But I felt one with everything that exists. So I saw that I was one with the minerals, with the plants, with the people, with the animals, with everything that existed, with all elements. And I really saw that there was this oneness, like if actually there is no individuality, there is only oneness. And that was really a surprising thing to me, because on that moment I was not Cristiano anymore. I was just one with everything that exists. And in the future, in the past, in the present, everything was happening at the same time. like and then on this vortex of feelings and emotions, I came back to my body. Like I was swirling down, having all these feelings and all these things and uh, unexplainable into words. And I went back in my body. And when I went back in my body for the third time, then I was completely out of the effect of DMT.
Like that.
Like that, I was like if I hadn't taken anything. And I was like, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? And I called my friend and he said, yep, 15 minutes. And I was like, what? 15 minutes? Because this to me felt like I was there for an eternity.
Really, it felt like that.
Yes, I was like, I felt like I was there for years. I mean, all this thing that I really condensed in a few minutes of talking,
Yeah.
but all the thoughts, all the places I went, and all the things I saw, and all the this unexplainable feelings and thoughts I had. I mean, it felt like eternity. And when I came back to my body, he said 15 minutes. I was like, oh, this is impossible. And um, and then I went to research even more. And that's why I say that DMT is like one of my top most important things or that happened in my life. Uh, I tried it one time again, but not in the crystal form. It was in another form that I forgot the name now, but you would smoke it. It was not like I say as pure as it was together with the Jurema thing. And I kind of saw just geometric things, but nothing like that experience. I mean, the crystal DMT was just something completely that changed my life. And on that moment, I thought, well, there's no point in studying, there's no point in working, there's no point in anything in my life until I kind of understand what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Because with other psychedelics, when I would come back, I would I did not have this ego death or anything like that. So it's like, oh, okay, it was fun. It was nice to see these things. It was nice to have these feelings. But I always felt that it was something recreational, you know. But when I came back from the DMT experience, it was totally different. It was like, damn, in there is the real life, and in here is just some kind of crazy illusion. And then I started thinking like, there's no point in me just going into my 9 to 5 job
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
It just didn't feel real.
And for what? This makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing all these Mayan things and Indian culture and Oriental things and with all this stuff. And then I got into like a lot of that felt like conspiracy theories and whatever. And I was like, damn, a lot of these things, these are not conspiracy theories. Maybe Mayans were right. Maybe this really is an illusion. Maybe what I feel as a body and I feel as an individual, and it's hard that every day you wake up and oh, I feel one with everything. No, I feel human. I feel as an individual. But after that experience, it just totally changed my way of being and the way of seeing stuff. Although I don't always like act accordingly to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, this is kind of the basis of Hinduism that I maybe at this point because you've maybe done this research, that this particular format of life that we're living as a human body and all our things in the samsara of existence, this is an illusion dream. And the purpose of this dream is to constantly trap you and distract you and lure you into kind of like things that you think are important, and basically to delay your paths to enlightenment. And we are constantly getting into this machine and doing all of these little illusory things. And so, according to Hinduism, the purpose of spiritual practice is to cut through the illusion of this dream that we are in, to realize this kind of
Yes,
conscious state that you are
because
experiencing.
it's really strange when, and then I started to speak about this experience with other friends, and most of my friends, I had a really negative response. I
Yeah.
mean, almost all of them, when on that moment I called friends, they thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
They said, "Look, Cristiano, now you really went too far.
Yeah.
I think that you need psychological help.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think you need a psychiatrist. I think you need to go and get some medicines." And they were not like making a joke out of it. They were really like
Yeah.
serious about it. Like, look, we really think that now you flipped out.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you guys are not understanding.
Yeah.
When I was there, in there it was reality.
Yeah.
In here, it's not. And they are,
Yeah.
okay, you are crazy, man. Here you go. You need help. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you to a friend of mine. He's a psychiatrist. Talk with him. He's gonna help you with medicines. And I was like, but I don't need help with medicines. Finally, now I kind of got to see a bit of the truth
Mm.
of what actually reality is,
Mhm.
which is no reality at all
Yeah.
compared to the state of mind there and the places I've been.
Yeah.
I mean, that was reality.
Yeah, you said that you felt like the other people were telling you that you were not crazy, but you felt like you had been crazy this whole time, living
Exactly.
this life, and now you had a piece of sanity.
Exactly. And I was trying to tell them.
Yeah.
And then I also related like with the Matrix agents in the movie. Like there's just these all people just living.
Yeah.
Then suddenly someone sees, whoa, we are inside of a Matrix.
Yeah.
And then people just, the agents are going, no, you're not. Just live your life. You know,
Yeah.
you're crazy. Continue your own little job, and that's
Yeah.
it. Don't go to those things. You are crazy. And I was really, that moment on my life was really hard because I saw that I had like really no one.
It's very isolating.
Yeah,
No,
I had
because
no one to
yeah, no one shares that view.
that had that view and the
Yeah.
thing. Only a few people, and then I started to go into how can I say, look for groups that would be the most trying to get the words in English. I'm sorry, like the most alternative possible.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing that with normal people,
Mm.
I just could not have a normal conversation anymore because
Yeah.
they just did not understand. They did not
Yeah.
feel. They did not see it. So,
Mm.
and the only thing I thought about was I need to know what happened because after all, I'm not this body.
Yeah, like you could not take your life seriously anymore until you figured
Yes.
out this
And
thing.
people thought I was crazy. I said, no, now I became not crazy. Maybe I was crazy before and I did not knew it. Because I was just living life.
Yeah.
Thought life was, yeah, meaningful and all these things. But actually compared to these other dimensions, it was nothing. Like really an illusion or a dream, let's say. And when you say this to someone that has not been through the experience, they just think you're crazy.
Also, because what you are saying is threatening their worldview of what, not just that you're saying something different, you're saying something that is challenging what they believe the world to be, they believe themselves.
Yes.
So it's not just that, oh, there's something wrong. It's like, I don't like what you're saying because you're challenging my whole life and beliefs and existence. Of course, I
Yes.
don't like that.
I lost a lot of friends that I used to get along really well.
Yeah.
I didn't speak to them anymore. They thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was a really hard moment on that part of my life.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't do anything until I heard this. Then there was this time my dad just comes to me and says, "Hey, you like this strange things and everything? I heard about a group in Piyun that they gather and they talk about ETs and stuff. Maybe you should go there. Maybe you're gonna like it." And I was like, "Ah,
Yeah.
maybe I'm gonna like it. Yes, where is it?" And then I will go there and I see this just a really nice house with the grass, green grass, like looking like the Eden, let's say.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow, this place, and there's nothing in the front, like saying a spiritual place. No, nothing, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing. Just a blank wall. And when I enter there, uh, there's this lady that comes to me and says, "Welcome. We were waiting for you for so long." And I
What?
was like, "What? What? Who are you? Where am I? What is this place?" And then she said, "Yeah, we were waiting for you for so long. Oh, we were so glad that you are here. And and come and see, come and see." And then
Is this something that they say to every new person that?
no,
Ah,
no,
okay.
actually, it's like this spiritualist place,
Yeah.
and they call it ashram, crystal of light. And people go there and they meditate and everything, and it started to grow a lot over the years with people being interested. And they don't take money for anything or anything. You just go and you participate into these meditations
Mm-hmm.
and different type of meditations. And they also had free yoga classes and all this kind of everything was for free. And then they had this small group that they call themselves cicos, which in Portuguese is Círculo de Integração Cósmica. So, cosmic integrational circle. And there was like, for real, it was like every Sunday they would open and people would go there and have this yoga thing and this experience and meditations and then these things and they spoken they had contact with aliens and Arcturians and Pleiadians and all these kind of things and like 100 people there and everyone wanted to be part of this small circle because when everyone would go out this small circle of people would gather around this huge crystal that they have there and then they would have a more closed meeting. And when I got there in the second day that I went, they called me and they said, "Look, we want to invite you to become part of the Sikus." And I was like, "What?" Because I felt like, whoa, these people are way ahead of me. I mean, they would constantly get out of their body. They would constantly be able to do a lot of things, telepathic communication. I mean, I saw it happening in
You
front of
actually
my
saw it
eyes.
happen? Well, what did you see?
Like they would like get into meditation and then they would go to this. They would call, "Oh, let's meet in the nave."
Yeah.
What is it
In
in like an alien ship?
yeah.
We're gonna meet in that alien ship. Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
I was like just with my eyes closed there and saying, "How the hell am I gonna do this? I have no idea how to do this." And it didn't happen to me, but I saw that these people, this small group of people, they when they came back from meditations, they were all speaking about the same things. "Yeah, you saw this thing. Yeah, I saw this thing. And we went there. We did this." And I just thought on the first moment, like, are they for real?
Yeah.
You know, are they just making of me a clown or something? But with going in more and more things, I saw that no, they actually were able to do those things. Like they would talk telepathically to each other, and they would be able to get out of the body. And then they always told me, "Look, don't worry if you can do it now. You're gonna be able to do it when your time comes, but we need you here because you felt the oneness." I mean, how the hell? would they know? Because I did not say anything. I mean, I don't go into places. Hey, I took DMT. I felt one with everything. Can I join the group? No, I didn't speak anything at all. So it's like this. There's some kind of people that they just see me out.
Did you ask them, how do you know this about me? Did you ask them?
Well, they just said that this Arcturians told them that I was in this thing, and I had an important mission here, and that I had to learn how to do these things consciously, and had to learn about these things, and that was the first time I met a group as crazy or even more than I am. So I was like, okay, in here I can speak openly about whatever. They will not judge me. And not only they will not judge me, they will say, yeah, I do that constantly. I don't need DMT to do that. I just sit here, woof, I'm out of my body. I was like, what? And they had these things, then they also told me to go to another place here, which is called Conscienciologia, which means consciousness studying. And it's a group that came apart from this Kardec spiritism thing they have here in Brazil. I mean, have you ever heard about Chico Xavier?
No.
He's like one of the biggest spiritism guys here. And he had this other guy that he just like got messages, and he wrote like, I don't know, 1,000 books or whatever. I mean, it's like humanly impossible that you do it. He just making up full things, publishing a lot of books together with this other guy, which is called Valdo Vieira. And then they came apart because Valdo Vieira said, no, I'm a doctor and I want to try this completely in a scientific way and not go into religious things. So they got separated, and that's when like the spiritism became separated from this other thing. And they said, yeah, you should go to their meeting because I think you will like it a lot. And I went there, and every Tuesday they have a meeting that they called Dinâmica do Desenvolvimento do Parapsiquismo. So
Dynamic evolution of paras.
no, the desenvolvimento. So development of the paranormal or parapsychic abilities. I said, well, seems great to me. I'm gonna go there and see what it is. And what I liked about it in there is that they really took it in a scientific way, different from these other groups. Because in this first group, it's like everyone already knew how to do all these things, like go out of the body, talk telepathically, blah, 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 meet with the aliens, whatever. And I was like, how do you guys do these things? I mean, I have to learn it somehow. I mean, I was able to do it while using DMT, but without using it, I mean, how can you do it? And then they said, well, in there, they kind of teach you how to do it, how to project your what is it called, soul, your spirit, how to project out of the body, how to do these things, and they have these techniques that they've developed and what you can do.
By the way, at this time you had quit your job. After
Yes.
your DMT experience, you quit your job.
I quit my job, and I only came back to my job like 6 months after.
Okay.
And not actually back to my job. I went to different thing.
I see.
But this other thing, like they happen every Tuesday, it was really, really interesting what they do in there. It's like this, they gather in a circle, and you cannot speak anything. And you have a table and some white paper and a pen. And then they have 3 moments there. One moment, first they say they open the campus for manifestations and this kind of things, and usually people just start to write, like they say, psychografia, so psychography, like, and they said, look, if you have some thoughts or whatever, just note them down. whatever. Oh, I feel like I'm itching on my elbow. Then note it down. It doesn't matter what comes, but what comes, note it down. And you cannot speak with anyone. And okay, and a lot of thoughts just naturally coming. And then when they said, okay, so now we open the campus for psychography, it was amazing because I've seen this videos from this guy that I speak, Chico Xavier, and it's really known. Like he just closes his eyes and it's just and people just quickly exchange his page so that he can continue on writing. You know, it's like, and then suddenly I'm writing, and I have and I'm like, what the hell is happening? I had no idea even what I was writing about. Just writing, and then I was like, what just happened? I mean, I was like, what is this? What kind of magical trick is this they have here, you know? And I was like, okay. And then on the second moment, they would invite one person to go in the center, and they would make what they call the magnetic axis. So the people were like sitting in a chair, and two or three would come and position their hands in specific places, which I don't know what it is. They just do it in specific places, like they put their hands, like three people, and then again they say, okay, so now whatever you feel here, think, whatever, note it down. And on that moment I saw like this really huge white light coming, and like sort of not full body, but uh like if it was an angel, like with the wings like this and going around the person and everything. And I was really like, what is happening?
You saw it.
Yeah, I saw it in there, and without the use of DMT, just on that meeting. But all that only happened after DMT experience, right? And then I just noted down, well, I think I saw an angel, or whatever it was. It was white, bright, da, 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 da. And then in the end, they have another thing where one of the person that is more, let's say, experienced, he goes in the middle and he receives some message and it just speaks out. Really, really similar to, I don't know if you saw Bashar. Is like this guy, Andrew. I'm gonna send you. He just receives this voice from an alien, and it just speaks things that just you make total sense. So he just sat there in the middle and then started speaking a lot of things. Then I was really like shocked by the things that that person was saying, and the person said, "No, it was not me speaking. I was just hearing it and communicating it." You know, and okay. And in the end, uh, they open it for people to talk. And why is this an experience, scientific experience? Is because no one talked, but it was like 15 people, and 10 of them said they saw an angel on this on the second thing. So suddenly, you cannot lie about it. Oh, I also saw. No, did you write it down? Oh, you didn't write it down. So, so there was no way that. So suddenly, what they say is that with this experience that they make, there's no way of lying or making up stories, because if you didn't write it down, then maybe you're just lying, you know. And then suddenly 10 people saw it, and I was like, what? Amazing, you know. So after this DMT experience, I kind of saw that I started to have access to these other dimensions, but then without having the use of the DMT. So it's like something unlocked in me that I started to have these experiences more often, and without the use of any psychedelic. And then these people that I saw that they, for instance, they would just write the same story that they saw, they write the same things. And I went several times because I wanted to test it. I was like, no, I always like, if you hope you don't mind. I was always like um, thinking somehow these people were lying or making things up, or I have to test this thing. And then I started to went to even more of these centrums here, spirituality centrums, that have this kind of like alternative meetings and meetings with spirits and whatever. I was never afraid of it, and sometimes they would incorporate and totally like it's like the face changes a bit, and
Yes.
they speak in a different way. It's like in another person on that body. It's amazing. And then one day I said to myself, well, today I'm really gonna fuck up these guys. I'm sorry for the expression. Today I'm really gonna make a test that there's no way. There's no way that they can do. I'm gonna put this to test. So I went to this medionic circle, and while was one of the person that has already disabilities, let's say, that I don't have often. I mean, I can't control when I have it. I have it like very few times. They can control it on the.
Oh, what can you control? Sorry.
Sometimes I have also now this experience of going out the body and all these things, but it's not something that I can know. Now I'm gonna do it. Poof, no, I can't do it like they can. And I saw that it was real. That they were not just lying to me or whatever. They actually did it. And I brought a photo on my thing, and on that moment that person was in the middle incorporating this entity. uh I said, I'm sorry, I have a question. He said, yes, because you could ask whatever, and they would just go and for instance, oh, I have this problem, and they say, yeah, you should do this here, this, think about this. Do you remember that thing in the past that you had? And I was like, what the fuck, how can they know these things about my past? I didn't tell anyone in here. How can they know these things? So it was really amazing. And I said, I brought something
Yeah.
that's on my pocket.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And I was sure that I was gonna like catch them in a lie.
Yeah.
And really quickly, like he looks at me, but with a closed eye, the person just turns to me and says, "It's a picture of you with 12 years old holding your dog." I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I was like, "What is this?"
You did your test.
Because it was a picture of me when I was 12 with my dog. I mean, I didn't tell anyone, not my mom, not anyone about this. And when I was in this space, I put it to test, and I got that answer that was just impossible. I mean, mathematically, what are the chances that they would actually guess? Just guess.
No, they would have to know.
They just saw it somehow. So like, and then I started saying, well, when I was out of my body, I could see through things. So probably the entity seeing through things and just tells the person. That was my own conclusion.
Yeah.
But I saw that, wow, then after all, I'm not crazy. After all, there's this just group of people that are just, I would say, more advanced in this way, that they can have these DMT experiences without the use of DMT. And now I met a lot of people that have disabilities, but I never even knew that they existed before my DMT experience.
Yeah.
And also, if they would speak about it to me, I would also be one of the persons saying, "You are crazy."
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So that's why I say that DMT really changed my life completely, because I would be not going to these centers. I would not believe in these people. I would not have the vision of life I have today, if not by that specific DMT experience.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of things that I want to say. Um, the first is about your experience of when you were in that balcony and you were on DMT and everything started becoming code.
Yes.
Yeah. So this experience, this is something that happened to me. It wasn't like that, that actually. But when I was in the United States before I came here, in the last couple of months before I came, I have a friend there called Salim, who is originally from Morocco. He's doing his neuroscience PhD. And he uh, suddenly became very interested in manufacturing DMT in his own home. So he found a lot of information and he got mimosa bark and he did some chemical extraction and he synthesized crystals of DMT in his home. And then he said, Neil, you want to try this? And I tried it. And for some reason, I think DMT does not have so much of an effect on me as it does on other people. And I have tried DMT several times in my life, and every time other people have been a little bit surprised that it did not work so much on me. So that was a little bit unfortunate. But then he said, Neil, have you heard about this thing called the DMT laser experiment? Do you know about this? The
The,
DMT laser experiment?
no, I know about the fraud that they
Ah,
have the 5 mil DMT
yeah.
formula say,
No,
but no.
this is a DMT laser experiment where some people on YouTube said that there's a particular kind of laser that you
Oh
can
yeah,
buy.
yeah, I saw it like with the cross, the
Yes, it's a
laser,
red
the red
cross.
cross.
Red cross, you project it on a wall, and then you smoke DMT and you go close to the laser and kind of try to see through the light as if you're looking at something that is behind the wall, and you start seeing uh, letters in some alien language that are in 3D hanging in the air, just like code, the
Yes,
Matrix.
yes,
There are several people who said this. And so Salim said, you want to try this experiment? And I say, yeah, let's do it. So we ordered all of the little parts for that laser and we set the laser up. And I took DMT and I looked at it and I didn't see anything. And Salim also, I think, did not see the code, but he had some other kind of crazy experience. I cannot fully explain because he could not fully explain, but definitely the DMT had like kind of a profound impact on him. And he said that it has something to do with the laser that he was looking at, but it was something. So I just remembered that when you said that you had this experience that was almost like how it is in the Matrix, where the surfaces of things that just kind of start coming like code.
yes,
And it makes me wonder a little bit where this inspiration from the Matrix idea came from. Um, you know, the other thing that, yes. So you talked about when you were in that Alex Gray pillar space, you went into one of the galaxies and it was like you died. And then you were this ball of light, like a spherical ball of light. You had 360 vision and you were in outer space and you can see the stars all around you. And it felt like this is where you came from and this is where you went back after your death.
yes,
So now the thing that I want to tell you is that when I was in my mid teenage years, around 15ish, I had not tried any psychedelics. I was in India, I didn't even know about them. I used to have these experiences of uh, some knowledge starting to come into my mind about what could happen after I die. And the way that it would start, there are certain things that could trigger this. And I did not like these experiences at all. Sometimes the way it would be triggered is if I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm wondering, like, who is that? Who am I? You know, that would sometimes trigger this because somehow the idea of who am I is connected to the idea of my death because whoever it is that I think I am is the thing that is going to die. So if I'm afraid of my death, then I'm afraid of the thing ending that I think I am, you know? So it's the same thing. Who am I is the thing that I think is going to die. So I would be looking at myself in the mirror and somehow this question of who am I even and what would happen after I die would start coming into my mind. And in the beginning, they would be voluntary thoughts, like kind of curious thoughts. Yeah, who am I? Like nobody tells me who we are, like walking around in these human bodies, but no one really questions who they are really inside. So these would be like voluntary philosophical curiosities. But at some point, it's like an avalanche, it would open some door in my mind, and then boom, like a lot of information would start pouring in that is no longer voluntary thought. It's like being just put into my mind, like some kind of a knowledge, as if I'm remembering. But I didn't want this, and I had some visions of what would happen after I die, and the vision, it's almost like a remembering, like I know and I'm remembering now. And in these visions, I am a kind of like a ball of light that's kind of glowing, and it's like a comet. It looks kind of like a sperm or a comet that's flying through outer space, and it's just black outer space, maybe stars or something, and it's just flying by itself through outer space. And in front of me, I see a big ball of light, like a big pool of glowing light, and many other flying comets of light, like me, are all flying towards that big ball of light, and then it's merging into this big ball of light. So I knew that I am this small consciousness, that I think I'm Neil or whatever, and that is like big consciousness, like God or something. And inevitably, when I die, my small consciousness is going to merge into the big
Yes.
consciousness, and that will be the end of me. There will not be any separate continuation of me as myself. It will be like I end the dream of me and I wake up as God or something like that, where my identity dissolves into the big identity. And then it doesn't matter anymore what was Neil and what was his life, blah, blah. And and this was like a knowledge, like, remember, this is what happens. There's no way around it. This is what happens. And you know this. And I was scared of this because I had this fear of death, and I did not want to die, meaning even if I know that after death I get to continue being this other big consciousness, I did not want that. I wanted to continue being just me. I don't want my existence to stop. So this was kind of like a scary revelation of knowledge that could happen in my mind. And your story reminds me of some of the same elements, this glowing light, big ball of light kind of in outer space, and this knowledge that this is where you came from and this is where you're returning.
Yes.
And this was coming into my mind as certain knowledge without any psychedelics. And this is something that I could not talk about with anyone. And in my mid teens, it caused some depression and isolation and everything. So I'm like, I feel like I'm totally disconnected from everyone else around me. They would not understand a word of what I'm trying to tell them, and why is this important to me. And then one weird thing happened last year, which is that when I was in the US, I had this friend called Olivia, and she and I connect a lot. And one day I went to her house, and she has been writing her journal from a very young age. So we were sitting next to a big plastic tub filled with her journals since childhood. And I said, Can I read any of these journals?" And she said, Yeah. Oh, by the way, before this conversation happened, one time I told, oh no, Olivia told me. Olivia told me that when she was younger, she would have visions of what would happen after she dies. She told me this. And I said, "Oh, what were your visions?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm like a flying ball of light in outer space." And I said, "Really?" Because this is the same vision that I would have when I was in my mid teens. And it turns out that maybe she was having those visions around the same time that I was, but she was quite a bit younger. And so on that day, we are in her room, and I said, "Can I read any of these journals?" And she said, "Yes." And she's got like 20 or 30 journals in this plastic tub. And I pick out one of those 20 or 30 journals, and I open it to a random page. And I see that on that page, in that journal, out of the 20 or 30, she has described this vision of what would happen after she dies, of this ball of life through outer space. And I thought, I told Olivia that it's already weird that you and I had the same exact vision of what would happen after I die. But the fact that in this moment, out of all of these journals, I would pick the one and open it to that page where you had this description, this is kind of weird. It feels like a synchronicity.
Yeah.
Like the universe is trying to tell us something. And yeah, I mean, I am still kind of afraid of my death because I feel like I'm very attached to this life because I have an interesting life and interesting stories. I like being me, so I'm still kind of afraid of this merging into the bigger consciousness that is going to happen. But I kind of know that it's going to happen. This is not just like a random hallucination. It comes with the noise, like, remember? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of remember. But I think my fear of death has kind of reduced quite a bit as a result of my psychedelic experiences. So this is something that has kind of happened. Um, the other thing that I wanted to ask you is these centers that you mentioned. The first is the ashram of the crystal of light,
Yeah.
and the other place that you mentioned,
Consciology, something like that.
yeah.
Something like that.
Do these two places still exist in Natal?
Yes, they exist. The first one, right now, they are not open to public. They only have an online version of it, and the Seekos group is the only one because it started growing too much.
Yeah.
So they cut off the public
Yeah.
things, and we only gather at every 15 days or something, and then we do all kind of things. And this to me is how can I say, flourishing every time more. Not even know if that's the right word,
Yeah.
but it's every time more that I practice
Yeah.
with them and with these intentions, I'm able to do these things that I did when I was in DMT.
Ah, so you can do this sort of
Yes,
without DMT.
but without DMT, but not always.
Yeah.
And like they can do it always.
Yeah.
You know, they do it daily. Like they just sit down and say, hey, wait, I'm gonna visit this person.
Yeah.
And they visit and they talk and they come back and yeah, this she said this and this and this and this. I was like, what?
But you
So
were
I
able
was
to have some of these experiences.
yes.
What is an example of something that you have been able to do in these practices?
Well, in this practices, for instance, I was able already to also like I started feeling a pressure here in the back.
Yeah.
Like a really big pressure. And then uh I was I was I was playing this ball,
Yeah.
ball,
Yeah.
like
Like a Tibetan singing bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing this ball, making everyone connect to this thing, and because they asked me to do it, I like it to do it.
Yeah.
And then I start feeling this pressure here, and then one of the persons said, "I think that someone because it never happened to me before. I think that someone wants to speak something." And I just thought, okay, she's gonna get a message from some entity. I was just there playing the thing, and I started feeling this pressure here. And then also, never in the other experiences, never happened. And then one of the ladies that was behind me, she touched me in my back, touched here, exactly where I was feeling that big pressure. And when she touched, I started speaking a lot of things that's like, yeah, time is not linear, and all this kind of things that I would just not be able to speak by myself, or even I had to study about it, Yeah, you guys are part of this and that, and da, 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 and I started speaking, and I was really astonished that wow, this is not coming from my mind. This is coming from somewhere else. And I was speaking a lot of things, like really deep things that I cannot not even put in words now because I don't remember a lot. I was like semi-conscious, but the people around me were like all like, "Oh yeah, good,
Yeah,
yeah,
it makes
good.
total sense.
Yes, yes." And I was really like, what the hell happened? And then the other one said, yes, because this entity was right near you, because and you wanted that you would speak, and then I felt this pressure, and then it happened, and they all do it naturally, let's say. But I was already in this group for like 2 years, and nothing happened to me. And I was even wondering, like, why do they want me to participate in these things, since I can't do anything that they can? But they all kept the same story, said, no, don't worry, your time will come, you will be able to do it, you will. They are telling us that it's gonna happen to you, and they always speak in they, like in the groups of different beings from different galaxies. It it's amazing. It sounds crazy, but
No, 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 no. Look, my life has been a lot of crazy already. I mean, you
So
don't know, so this is not so crazy. By the way, when I was in Austin, which is the city that I really like that city, by the way. There's a lot of weird people in the city. That's one of the reasons I liked it. One time I went to a place where they sell tacos. Very nice place for tacos. It's called Tyson's Tacos. And in Tyson's Tacos, you get a lot of flyers, like for interesting events or music things. And there I saw a little flyer, black and white, printed at home. It had a picture of a UFO,
mm,
and it said fasting experiencers meeting. And then in small letters said, did you have an alien or paranormal experience? This is a group where you can come and talk. So this is like the kind of group that your dad
yes,
told you about.
yes,
And I decided I'm going to go. So I went to this place and they had a meeting in kind of like a small room. There were like 7 or 8 people. And the different people had different kinds of alien related experiences. And then they were sharing. I met several people through that group. It was a very like good energy group because they were very low on judgment. They were not
yes,
trying to judge each other. So I think overall, even though I did not have any alien experiences, it was very nice for me to be in that kind of energy with that group where there was not so much judgment and just free expression. And there were several people in that group who were super nice people, like really nice people. And I became friends with several of them. I interviewed 3 of them on my podcast about their experiences. Um, and one of them was this lady, and I believe her. She kind of remembers what her past life was, and she described the whole thing to me. And it was not a life on this planet; it was on some other planet or something. And she described in detail um, her flashbacks and her memories and things. And she said that in that life, she felt like everything was a little too easy, and so she wanted to have a harder challenge where life would be more difficult and more things to overcome.
welcome to Earth.
Yes. So now she's born in this human form. Um, so yeah, that's very interesting. One question that I was curious about is that you said that you were kind of raised Christian, and maybe all of your friends at that time were also Christian, that you tried to tell them about your experiences. And as a result of this DMT experience and the way that it changed you and everything else that happened after all the information that you got these groups, how has it changed your worldview or belief about the nature of the world and about religion from Christianity? How has it
Well,
changed all this?
right now, if you'd ask me what religion do you have,
Yeah.
I would definitely say none.
Yeah.
I think that all religions, they hold a bit of the truth,
Mm.
but not the full truth.
Yeah.
And that somehow all religions, they also put you inside of a box. No, this is wrong, this is right. So I would consider myself today as being a universalist spiritualist, if that even exists.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I see that in Hinduism there is truth, because I felt it, not someone that someone told me. No, no, no,
Yeah.
I was there, I felt the things.
Yeah.
I heard things from Mayans that are
Yeah.
true. I heard things from Oriental
Yeah.
things that I see is true, and I also see things from Christianity that I see is true. see things from Umana that I also see it's true, you know. So uh, I, I don't think that there is one that has all truth. In some way, uh, they are all pointing at each other, saying, "Yeah, you're wrong and I'm right." So I kind of have like this limitation, and in these groups there is no religion, let's say, because also Kumbanda, this group, they have no religion. I mean, they just speak up about these things and they make these experiences, and it's really nice. It's really nice to be free from having to be one of the things, you know. But definitely, my experience on DMT changed my complete view of the world. Completely, completely, completely. It changed everything about my life, like what I wanted to do and everything. For instance, today I act as an architect, and it's even, I think, a bit of unfair to my other fellow architects because I see their struggle into, for instance, a client comes in and says, "Oh, I want the house like this," and I see them like in the movies, like trying making drawings and, "Oh, it's not good, put it away," making another drawing, "No, it's not the way." You know, they kind of struggle to come up with ideas, and to me, I mean, the person starts saying, "Oh, I wish a house like this," and immediately in my mind, there's a 3D form of it. The only thing I do is I just look at it and oh, what do you think about this? And the person, whoa, that's what I want. I said, yeah, I'm seeing it here. I'm just. So I have no I wouldn't even call it creativity. It's just there, you know.
This is part of this seems like a little bit of the kind of psychic abilities that you're practicing to develop. It's kind of like maybe you're reading a little bit of the vision that they have.
Maybe. And what I really like to do in my job is urban planning. So when I go to the city hall and they say, "Look, we have this place and we have to make a roundabout and we have to make this and we have to make that," and when they're still speaking about it, I already have it in my mind. It's already, it's like it's complete. I don't have to be saying, "Oh, should I do this? Should I do that?" I said, "Mm-hmm," and then they give me the thing and I look at it, and on my mind there's already what's gonna be going there. So I just start, "Oh, what do you guys think about this? Do we do this? We do that, we do this," and they're like, "Wow, wow, that's a nice thing." And I say, "Oh, you're very creative." I said, "Look, I'm not creative at all." This thing is just floating here on my mind.
But this, I think creativity is that. I mean, normally we don't really notice it, but I think when people have this like um, things of creativity, like this bursts or sparks, it is like little capsules of this stuff just entering our mind.
Yeah,
In that
I
moment.
mean, I get the idea ready. I don't have to be like, "Oh, maybe this. Oh, this would be nice. What do you guys think?" Oh, no, I just look at it, and even sometimes I see other colleagues working, and they are there struggling. Yeah, and then they, "Hey, can you come here?" And I look at the space, and when I look at where it's gonna be, I have a completely different idea. I said, "Look, don't take me wrong, but because your job looks fine. But what if we did like this, like this, like this, like this, like this?" And they're like, "Whoa, that's a great idea. Yes, that's much better." I said, "Yeah." No idea where it comes from. It just comes. So that's why I say it's a bit, even a bit unfair to because I really see that they try to, yeah, what if we do this, and then it goes research for inspirations. Oh, and I saw this building. I have none of that. I have no research for inspirations, nothing. I mean, as soon as the problem comes in my hand, bam, it's in my mind. So usually with my team, I just, like, a client comes in, I talk with him. As soon as I talk with him, it's on my mind, and I make a few sketches and say, "Here, put it on 3D." That's it. That's what he wants. And usually, people, sometimes it's even not what they say they wanted. But when I explain why I did that,
Yeah.
like, look, this thing is better because of this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's also funny how it happens to me. I wouldn't, I don't know, maybe call it some psychic ability, but it's really, I would call it an easy job for me because I don't have to think about it. I mean, just give him the space. Oh, it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
I only see it immediately. I see it like a complete
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
It's not something like a part of it. No, I see it.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
This is it. And then I just my biggest thing is how to take that I'm seeing with my mind
Yeah.
into the paper. Like I okay, and I try to okay. No, it's like this. It's like this. Oh yeah, I see this part. Oh, there's this detail here. There's this thing. And then people look at me and say, "Wow, you're really creative." Said, okay, thank you. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm not. I'm just copying this thing that's appearing on my mind. You know, I'm not creating this. You know, it's a funny thing about my profession. So yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to share?
Well, about the DMT experience, there was more stuff, but like I really cannot put it into words. You
Yeah.
know, like this passing of time, everything, you know. I mean, it took eternal, look, a lot of time. I cannot condense it in just one talk. Then there's more details that come.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that I came with that was my own, let's say, definition of what God would be. Okay. And like I said, I didn't read this somewhere. This is just conclusion that I took from my own experience. So I do not hold the truth. I just my own experience. But one of the things that I was really did not make sense to me was like, okay, God is omnipotent, omniscient, omni everything. So he knows everything, does everything, is everything. So why is there people killing each other? So why is there a kid that's just been born and has cancer and dies? I mean, did he deserve this? I mean, what kind of God is this? Because they said, "Oh, God is always good." If He's always good, then why does it let it happen? You know? And then with this DMT experience about the oneness, I kind of got into this conclusion like this. Look, there is a Portuguese saying that I'm going to try to translate that it says like this, that you cannot explain the smell of a rose. Like you have to smell the rose to know how the rose smells like.
Como se fala em português?
Você não consegue saber o cheiro da rosa. Tens que cheirar a rosa para saber o cheiro. And what it means is, I can try to tell you, look, a rose is a really beautiful flower. The rose, it's when you smell it, oh, you feel this thing that's really nice. But if you never actually smell the rose, you don't know how a rose smells.
Yeah.
So basically, what it means is you have to go through the experience to have the experience. Seems logical, right?
Yeah.
But so I kind of forgave all these friends that did not believe me because, on some sense, I thought like they did not go through the experience. So how can they know? They cannot know. They just think I'm crazy, and they are right in their thing because it's unimaginable a lot of things. And maybe me a few years ago, I would also think that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But once I went through the experience,
Yeah.
then I know it's like what you said. It's not like I kind of think what death will be like. No, I know because I remember. So I know because I went through the experience of dying and through the experience of a lot of these things. So it's not something that someone can convince me that I'm right or wrong. I just know because I went through the experience. Okay. So on some point, I thought that if God is meant or is this entity that knows everything, then logically he has to go through all the experiences.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't experience
Yeah.
what it is to kill someone,
Yeah. Yeah.
how can he be God
Yeah.
and know everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when then the flash came that everything is really just God experiencing itself
Yeah.
on, I'm not gonna say good and bad ways, but
Yeah.
just in every way
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
So in the interaction of me and you, but
Yeah.
also it being this class,
Yeah.
but also being that plant and how
Yeah.
it interacts with the sun
Yeah.
and everything that exists in the most complex
Yeah.
possible way
Yeah.
is just one consciousness
Yeah.
experiencing itself
Yeah.
in all possible ways.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
That's why
and
stuff
that is,
happens.
yeah, and that is what makes it fair, because it's not like God is something that's sitting outside of this, like a little watching like a little town of toy people and deciding, hey, you're going to die, and
Yeah.
just like little experiment. And it's like that one consciousness is the things that is as materialized as all of this. So anytime that one person kills another, that one consciousness is the killer, and that one consciousness is the one that is dying.
Yes, and he's both, so he has
Yeah.
both experiences,
Yeah.
and let's say mathematically, and you have to have all the possible experiences so
Yeah.
that you are God.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how would you know?
Yeah.
Oh, just look at the good sides. No, this has nothing to do with me. No, 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 no. But
Yeah.
aren't you like omnipresent?
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't you everywhere? I mean, so there was a lot of things that religion put inside boxes.
Yeah, I think it is
You
this
know?
kind of dualistic thinking in some
Yeah.
kinds of religions where it makes two boxes of everything and puts God in one box. And then there's something left in the other box, and sometimes you have to put the opposite of God in that box, like the devil or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was my vision from what I experienced. See, like it makes total sense now. What
Yeah.
God is, I mean, I am God. And when you say to someone like this, "Ah, I am God," ah, this guy is crazy. I am God. No, I am God, but you are also God,
Yeah.
and also this chair is God, and everything is God.
Yeah.
It's just one. I know
Yeah.
we seem separate, but
Right. Right. And this is why it also makes sense that you should treat people with kindness, because in some deeper form, we're the ones experiencing that.
yes, yes, exactly. So that was one of my biggest, let's say, meaningful lessons that I just took out of my own head
Yeah.
was that I finally kind of understood what God is, which is one of the biggest questions in humanity. To prove its existence and what it is. Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the meaning of life? Well, the meaning of life is to live.
Mm.
But to live in what way? In whatever way you want.
Yeah.
What excites you more? Go for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Then I started seeing also this guy. I'm gonna pass to you this Bashar
Yeah.
that he incorporates this alien,
Mm-hmm.
and he just says exactly this things, all these things that I say. I like first I got to a conclusion, and then I started reading things and confirming like, aha, yes,
Mm-hmm.
this is the way. This is how I experienced it. So that was one of the most meaningful things of.
Yeah. So
Uh,
this time that you went through after your DMT experience, where living life like this did not make any sense to you anymore, that is no longer the case. Like now you feel like in this human life, in this human things that you're doing, there is meaning.
well, yes, and especially after, which is also maybe really cliche thing to say, but especially after I had kids,
Yeah.
because now I have two kids,
Yeah.
and I always heard people saying like, yeah, having kids is really nice, and yeah, you will know when you have it, and I was like, yeah, okay, of course it's nice,
Mm-hmm.
but actually, when my first son was born, and I was holding him in my hands, and I was like, there was like I stopped in time, and I was like, wow, this is my kid. And I cannot just, because on some points to my life, I was just living and really like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, you know? And when my kid was born, there was another thing coming in my life like, okay, now I'm responsible for this being. I have to educate him and give my best to him. And there was just a lot of like my mind opened in a different way that also it did not happen before I was a dad. For real. This is also something, an experience like having a kid was really like, wow. Something totally that gave meaning to my life because now on that moment I used DMT, I kind of lost my fear of death, like you spoke about. I lost my fear of death because I said, look, I know how stuff is gonna be, and it's okay if I die because I already know how it is. It's inevitable that one day I will die, and I'm lucky because I already know how it is. That's one of the other great questions of mankind is what happens after death. Well, I'm not just guessing. I know how it's gonna be because I experienced it. That death and that thing. So I know how it's gonna be. So I'm not anxious about how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that. I'm gonna return to the that space, to that light, to the yeah. That's what's gonna be. But after I had my kids, then the fear of death came back, not because of me, but because I want to experience them in all ways possible and in the most time possible. Because in some sense, seeing how they see the world is also something truly amazing. You know, they come up with visions of world that I never had. I mean, it's unexplainable to me, you know. And then was also a time in my life that it gained meaning, you know. Okay, now it's not just me. Now I have this small kid, and the kid's growing, and it comes up with total new ideas and with the I mean, even with the small things, stupid things, but also with all this love that you get, which is totally different from the love that you get from your mom or your dad, or it's different from the love that you get from your wife or your the person you choose to stay with. It's a totally different kind of love when you receive the love from a kid, of your own kid. I mean, that's again my experience. I'm not holding the truth. Not a holder of the truth. Yeah, usually when I because I give classes in the graduate school on architecture and the interior design things. And usually I start my classes with the same sentence. I say, hello, I'm Professor Cristiano. And what I want to tell you guys is do not believe a single word I say. They are already like, what? Said, that's right. Don't believe in a single word I say. Take what I say, go search for yourself and have your own opinion, you know, about things. What I'm gonna share with you guys is just my experience. So taking that into this is the same thing. Like having this experience of having my kid growing and what it brings me in love and in joy and everything is an experience I do not wish to leave so soon. So from that moment on, when my son was born, I was again with the fear of dying, but not the fear of dying like, oh my God, what's going to happen? No, I know what's going to happen. I just don't want it to happen because I want to experience this.
Yeah.
Did it make sense?
Yeah.
I want to experience this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, having my own small human. Do you have kids?
No.
Well, but maybe one day you will,
Maybe. Yeah.
and then you will know.
Yeah. I mean, but
You will go through the experience.
yeah. But I feel like I already, even without kids, I have some of these same feelings already. Like this kind of attachment that I have towards the life that I'm experiencing is because I think there's so many things that are really cool about the world and my experience of life that I want to continue having this experience, you know?
Yeah. On a certain moment of my life, I just was like, I'm going like full crazy. I mean, with these groups, with alien groups, with everything.
Yeah.
Well, what am I doing with my life? DMT like made my life a mess, but in the other way, it also showed me the truth about so many things that I wanted to know about.
Yeah.
But when my kids came, there was another there was another stage in my life. Like, wow, I have this a lot of things that happened already with my kids that I was like, okay, this is one of the reasons I'm meant to be here because I'm meant to be experiencing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not again, not that it will happen to everyone because God has to experience it himself as all possible
Yeah.
ways, right? So,
Yeah.
like I said, this is what I feel. Maybe it's not your path.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your path might be completely different.
Yeah.
It is completely different,
It's true.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice talking about this
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for being part of this conversation. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
I thank you
It
for
took
the
a while
invite.
for us to get on the same,
Yeah.
the stars aligned, but no, we did it. Thanks for hanging out with Cristiano and me today in the Room of Lives. Take care until next time.